Hey guys, welcome back. Oh my gosh, it feels like it's been so long since I came and talked to you guys. I'm so happy it's Friday, number one. And I'm just so happy to be talking to you guys again. Like, it feels like it's been forever. I had to stop by Body Energy Club to get me a smoothie, a menage a trois. And I added ginger with plant protein. It is so good, you guys. Delicious. One of my favorite places to go. But like I said, it feels like it's been so long since I came and talked to you guys. I swear, but it's been like 3 weeks. For me, it's been pretty. It's those 3 weeks been going by really fast. But for you guys, I know it feels like it's been a long time. So sorry, but I've been pretty busy. I've been trying to stay busy. Not necessarily trying, but I have to stay busy because number one, I'm happy because I just finished my summer semester and I checked my grades. The grades were posted today. And your girl came through. I did make all A's. I'm like so happy because I put a lot of work in, and I want to say this was one of my most difficult sessions, but I will say it did take a lot of effort and a lot of focus and attention and hard work because I took my bio basis of behavior class this past summer along with my social psych class. So it did take a lot of effort. And y'all, I did it. I passed both classes with A's. So I feel proud of myself. I feel like it's a small victory, but a victory nonetheless. I'm just excited. Today I did have my practicum today. So I was seeing clients and I feel so good. Like, I don't know. I think it's just, I know it's Friday, but I feel so good. I know I've been missing in action. Like I said, it feels like for me, I know for you guys it's been a while, but for me, it just felt like, I don't know, that time flew by. And I looked at my calendar and I just checked the date for my last video. And I'm like, dang, it's been 3 freaking weeks since I made a video. And I usually do not go that long without making a video. But I have to say this, like I had to stay focused, like I had to really stay focused to pass my classes. That was the main thing. So I was studying really hard to pass my bio psych class, and I did. I not only passed, but I aced it, you guys. I got A's, and I had a final exam. And when I say the final for my bio psych class, like it felt like a comp exam. Because in my PhD program, we have to do a comp. It's pretty much a comp that we take at the end of our first 3 years. So my first year, I had my research and statistics comp that I passed with a 92. And then in my second year, I had my assessment comp, which basically I just did that at the end of the spring semester. So I passed that. And assessment basically is just covering the different types of psychological tests that we administer. Passed that with a 94. And this bio class that I just finished taking, although like I said, I had a final exam for that exam, y'all. The exam was freaking how much time did he get? 3 hours long. It took me 2.5 hours to finish the exam. Over 100 questions, but I passed, y'all. And the grades were posted today, excuse me. But the grades were posted today, and I passed with a 94. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really smart. I'm like, oh my gosh. I feel so proud of myself. I just feel so good. I mean, it's a small victory, like I said, but nonetheless, it feels great to accomplish something. So as much as you guys miss me, I miss you guys. Y'all guys know how much I love doing my vlogs and talking to you guys and just sharing my experience as a PhD student and my experience living in LA. And these past 3 weeks, I mean, y'all didn't really miss nothing because, like I say, I really been focused on passing my biopsych class. Number one, because my professor at the start of the class, like, he gave us a preface. He gave us a warning saying that out of all the classes that students fail, this is a class that students fail. So I had to make sure that I wasn't one of those students. Like, I didn't become a statistic. So I had to like stay focused, and I was studying like the week leading up to finals, which I took my biopsych final last Tuesday. But the week leading up to that, I was just studying. You guys even see some of my posts I made on Facebook where I was just studying. I had to go to the library because that's like my little abode. That's my quiet abode where I study. Like that's the place out of all places where I can focus. And I actually went to the public library in LA to do that studying, and it worked. I devoted like at least 4 to 5 hours each day. So I went Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I think even Monday, like leading up to my exam, like every single day I was just studying. How did I study? Well, we had several chapters. I want to say, how many chapters was on this final exam? It had to have been over 10 chapters, y'all. And then on top of that, we had articles, long ass articles that we had to read. But I did it, y'all. And I was just studying. I had to review each chapter, the material covering each chapter. And it's a lot. Like bio, you guys know how difficult bio is. So mix that with psychology. Because the class I'm taking, they call it the bio basis of psychology. So all psychologists take it, and it's basically just giving us the underlying biology, the neuropsychology, to conceptualize clients' problems. And so, it covered everything: the central nervous system, the peripheral nervous system, neural substrates, basically looking at the neural substrates of behavior, understanding the neurobiology aspect of behavior, essentially. And there's so much to learn, because I think a lot of times people just think, okay, a person's behavior is a matter of choice or their personality or some type of psychopathology that they're experiencing, or sometimes we conceptualize behavior in terms of their social context and the environment. But there's so many different ways one can conceptualize human behavior, and biopsychology is just one aspect of that. So I'm just happy, y'all, because it's a victory for me. Like, I passed. Like, that's behind me. And like when I said I was taking the final, it felt like I was taking a comp, because like it was a big deal. What are you wanting to do with your degree? Ebony, oh my gosh, there's so many directions I can go with my degree, but I am trained to become a clinical psychologist. So I know that sounds kind of specific, but it's so many directions. And it's interesting that you asked me that question, because I was just talking to my therapist, who I meet with every Wednesday, as part of the requirement for my PhD program. Like, we're required to go to psychotherapy under a licensed psychologist. So it just can't be any type of therapist. It has to be a psychologist, since we're trained to become psychologists. And he was giving me some ideas, like directions I can go with my degree. So I don't want to kind of like bust the bubble and like tell you guys now, but I will tell you guys maybe in a later video, like a few ideas that I have in mind in terms of professional development. But I think most of you guys who follow me kind of have a general idea of the direction that I'm going in, because some things I've already launched. For example, my research lab called Be Happy, spelled BIHAPI, is focused on Black identity development and enculturation of African Americans, and also looking at implicit racial bias. So I have several research studies that I am developing under that lab, under Be Happy. So you guys can go to behappy.org, spelled again BIHAPI.org, to learn more about that. But hey, the sky is the limit. There's so much. So I'm just so happy, y'all, that that's behind me. I just understand. Because students were stressing. Like, I remember the last day of class, students had so many questions, just, ruminating and wondering how can they increase their potential for success on this final. Because people were worried, like they think they're going to fail. And I hope no one fails. I'm praying to God like we all pass, but the grades were just posted today. So I was like, yes, not only did I pass, but I passed my final with a 94. Guys, I'm so happy. So that was that class. My other class, social psychology, I also passed with an A. And within the past several weeks, like I was working on my research paper for that class, and I had a presentation. The topic for my paper and my presentation was conceptualizing and reducing implicit racial bias in African Americans. And so, not just African Americans, but just generally, how can we work, to reduce implicit racial bias? And so that's something that, y'all, I'm at the park. But that's something that I focused on in my research paper and my presentation. And I was happy to include one of my biggest mentors, who I've never met personally, but somebody I truly admire, Dr. Umar Johnson, or he changed his name to Dr. Umar Ifatunde. And I cited some of his work that he's doing amongst several other Pan-African leaders in our community. So it's so much, you guys. It's so much, but I'm trying to give it to you guys in a nutshell. So I did that, and I can't emphasize enough like how happy I am, because that's behind me. Not only am I happy about passing my biopsych final and finishing this semester pretty strong, but I'm more than halfway complete with my program. So the program I'm in is 5 years. And I don't count the last year, because the last year is an APA internship that is paid. And actually, I don't plan to do my APA internship in California, but I'm over halfway finished with the program. So I completed 2 years, and once we complete 2 years, they give us a master's degree in psychology. Now, a lot of people are like really excited, like, oh, I get a master's degree, but it's like, this won't be my first master's degree. I actually already I came into the PhD program with a master's degree, but in clinical mental health counseling. And while I could have transferred some of my classes into the PhD program, I chose not to, because I don't know, I just wanted to start off fresh, and I wanted to just like learn. I'm a student. I'm like a lifelong student, so I love learning. My life is just dedicated to just educating myself and learning, so I was open to it. While some students who came into the program, like, they actually some had masters, most actually had a bachelor's degree, but some had masters, and they transferred some of their classes, so they were able to opt out some classes. I'm like, no, I want to take the class because I want to learn. I want to see, like, is there anything that's going to be taught in the class that's different from what I already learned. Like, for example, I've already taken psychopharmacology, but I decided to still take biopsychology, which covered psychopharmacology in biopsych class that I just took. I've taken statistics. I decided to take that again. Like, I just wanted to take it at the doctoral level because I felt that it was going to be slightly different. So now that I'm finished my first 2 years of my PhD program, I'm waiting on my my second master's degree from my school. Feel pretty good about that. And speaking of doing well on tests, like, I find it pretty interesting, even where I work at my practicum site, like, there are some staff that is actually, one staff member is actually working on her doctorate degree. And like, a lot of times, like, at my site, we have these trainings that we do, and we have tests, and like, people, I notice, not just there, but like even in class, people usually come to me for like advice on how they can take their tests, and sometimes they want me to take it for them. I'm like, no, I ain't taking nobody's test for them. But this is the advice that I would give to people in school, people who have to take tests. Like, I'm not going to say I'm the best test taker, but for me, what works for me is just having confidence. Number one, you have to know the material. Like, I tell my colleagues this all the time, because they're like, I'm stressed, they have anxiety, they're worried, about how they're going to do. And I say, if you actually take the time to read the chapters and to study, it will decrease your anxiety. And then they laugh. But it works like magic. It's funny because we have all this anxiety sometimes about what I'm going to do. I'm going to worry about my performance. They're stressing about their performance, but they don't realize, like, it's correlated with having known and studied the material. So if you go and you just take the time, you have to schedule time. That's the reason why these past 3 weeks that I've been on hiatus, like, I've had my head in the book, and I've just been reading and taking in the material, like processing it and committing it to memory, and just finding different ways, strategies to keep the material in my head, so that I understand it. Because it's one thing to read something, because especially in biopsychology or neuropsychology, like, the terminology is foreign, even though I've been studying psychology since when did I start? 2002. Yeah, I've been studying psychology since 2002. That's a pretty long time. That's like, 13 years. However, wait, is my math right? 2002 is 2008. Oh my, damn. See, sometimes I don't even take time to reflect. So 2002 to 2018, that's 16 freaking years I've been studying psychology. So I've been studying psychology for a long time. But it's like the terminology that we have to learn for biology and neuropsychology is slightly different, because it falls under medicine. So medical professionals use totally different terminology than psychologists use. Sometimes the terminology overlaps, which is great. Love it. But for the most part, a lot of the terminology that medical doctors use is much different. So as psychologists, because a lot of what we do tapers on the line of what medical doctors do, we have to learn their stuff. And also in the same vein, they have to learn our stuff too. So medical doctors take a psychology course. They have to have a working knowledge of psychology, the psychological underpinnings of behavior. But yes, having confidence, first of all, learning the material, like committing to taking time, setting aside time out of your day, on a regular schedule, just how you guys just check your Facebook, your Instagram, Twitter, you do that religiously. You have to set aside time and commit yourself to being able to learn this stuff, the material. And that's what I just had to do. I mean, although I've sat in a class the entire semester, you have to reinforce that learning with private study. And so I did that. So once the material is there, like I was telling my colleagues, that helps decrease anxiety, because anxiety, I mean, the thing about test anxiety, that shit can be so debilitating, because you can know the material, but if you having a certain degree of anxiety, of angst, that can fuck up your whole program, man. You can just bomb a test. But when you know the material, not only that, this is how it works. It's like, the material is there. It builds confidence in yourself, and with that confidence, the higher your confidence goes, the lower your anxiety goes. I know that works for me, and even let's say the material, but you still feel anxious and worried about it. Well, first of all, it's good to also ask the test administrator or the person giving you the test or create the test, like the structure of the test. That's important to know. So going in, I knew the structure of the test. I kept that in mind. I knew that it was 100 questions. I knew that he was giving us, he gave us 3 hours, as most professors do. You get the entire length of the class, which is typically 3 hours to take the exam, but it took me 2.5 hours. And I wanted to make sure it took me that long because I wanted to make sure every single answer was absolutely correct, Took my time reading it, because a lot of it was like applied knowledge stuff. So it wasn't just, what is the neuron that's responsible for this? It's like, if a person has Huntington's disease, for example, what would make increase or decrease in what neurotransmitter would worsen their disease, like stuff like that, more applied knowledge. So it's like, not only you have to know this stuff, but you have to be able to like have all this information sitting in your brain at the same time, and working memory, and be able to manipulate it. It's like, it's a lot, y'all. So that's just one example, but that, like, confidence for me works every single time. I can go into an exam, and it's worked for me previously when I studied, let's say I cram at the last minute, like an hour before the exam or a day before the exam. It works for me. Sometimes in those cases, just having confidence, like, you know what, I'm a smart person. Like, I've achieved a lot in my life. I've done well for the most part, in my studies. Like, I'm an honor student, that's just what I am. Not to brag, but hey, your girl got some skills, and it's not just book knowledge either, because it takes like, you have to have good planning and organization. It takes like good cognitive ability to be able to manage your time effectively. And not only that, to just produce what they're looking for. So confidence, I can't emphasize that enough. Confidence, going in there saying, you know what, I can do this. I can do this. And it's funny because like, it's contagious too. So I'll go, and I've helped my colleagues, like even before we go in and we've taken our two comp exams in the program. And like, I remember our first one, I sent out an email we have a private Facebook group for my cohort. So I sent out an email where I made a post to everybody in my cohort, just motivating them, like trying to spread the confidence in me and say, you know what, we got this, y'all. We got this. All we got to do is just go in there and show them what we know. Don't go in there thinking you don't know the stuff, because you do know it. And by me saying that, like, my colleagues were so refreshed. Like they were so motivated to know that, you know what, we do got this. And they felt confident, like knowing that they can go in there and take it. And I try to spread that positivity to everybody around me. Like, you got this, man. We got this. You got this. You're going to ace it. And it worked. It's so effective, you know. But that's alongside having studied the material. You have to study. And it definitely helps reduce anxiety. And not only that, like I meditate. I go into a zone where I'm like, I block out everything. That's why I had to shut down social media, like doing live YouTube videos, or live Facebook videos and posting on YouTube. I had to kind of like take a break for the past 3 weeks to go in my zone, and I went into my zone, and it was effective. I'm so happy, you guys. I'm so happy. Okay, so that was that. Now, not only is that a milestone in terms of me passing my biopsych and finishing my first 2 years of my PhD program, meaning I only have, okay, I know I said this really fast, but I finished my first 2 years of my PhD program. That means I've completed 6 out of 10 semesters. 6 out of 10, you guys. That means I have 4 more semesters of my PhD program left. 4. You see, people say, oh, you got a long way ahead of you. Oh, no. I only got 4 more semesters. I look at that as like it's going to go by so fast, number one. Look how fast 6 semesters went by. Like, I started my program in fall 2016. We're approaching fall 2018. I completed 6 semesters, you guys. I have a 3.7 GPA. It could be higher, but, you know. I can count the number of B's I got probably, I'm pretty sure, on 3 fingers. And the rest were A's in my program. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm good standing. But just considering the fact that I'm over halfway done, that's how I look at it, at least with the curriculum. Now, of course, still have the 5th year internship, but I'm just happy that that's done. 4 more semesters left. And what was I going to say? 4 more semesters left. And that's going to go by pretty fast. Like, I'm looking forward to that just flying by. Oh, yeah, I know I was going to say. So, being that I'm pretty much over the halfway mark, and I finished I'll be finishing my first practicum, you guys. I have 2 more weeks left. 2 more weeks left. And it's kind of bittersweet. I said it to my colleague, and she's like, I'm like, you're gonna miss it, right? And she's like, they felt like they're not really gonna miss it, but I feel like I know I'm gonna miss it, because I don't know. It's like, I've been there for a year. Each of our practicums, we do 3 pracs. Each of our practicums are a whole year long. That is a lot. I've put on a lot of hours, you guys, like over this past year. And I'm just like, wow, we are at the end of my first practicum. I'm looking at my second practicum, you guys. Time is just and it's amazing. And I think about, a few of my clients who I work with now. And I feel like, as much as I feel like I'm motivating them and helping them, it's like, you'll be surprised how therapy can be a bi-directional process. So it's not only that I'm impacting my clients, but they impact me. And I have one client, he's always saying, I'm all tripped up with my words. He's always saying, like, he points at my shoes and be like, oh, nice shoes. He says that to really everybody, but for me, like, I don't know. It warms my heart, because, like, it just goes to show, like, despite the issues of mental illness that they are suffering with, many of my clients that I'm working with now suffer from severe mental illness, like schizophrenia and bipolar. Not only that, but it's coupled with intellectual disability. Yet they still have a heart to give. They still have a heart to be nice, to be kind, to see the bright side of life. And that just motivates me. Like, sometimes we complain about so many things, people who are normal functioning or high functioning adults, we have all these complaints and worries, and yet you have clients who have a lot more than what we're dealing with and struggling with, but they can still see, like, the light at the end of the tunnel. They can still see the positive, out of everything. And not only that, but share that positivity. So it just warms my heart when he says things like, it's like, nice shoes. And granted, my shoes aren't the best shoes. I don't wear like high high fashion shoes to work, but they're like nice shoes. He's like, nice shoes. You know, he always says it. So that's one thing. And then, what was I going to say? There is another client. He's so nice because he's like, Danielle, you're a really nice intern. He says that so much. And I'm like, are you just saying that just to try to, I don't know, like fluff me up? But he says it at the right time. Like, he'll usually say it like when I finish group. And that's another thing, you know, like they look forward to the groups that I do there. You know, they're like, it will be in the morning time. I usually do group around 10. So they're like, are you going to do group today? You know, like, every day I'm there, I do group. But they always like, what are we going to do group? They look forward to the group. I'm like, wow. Like, I feel so honored that clients are actually looking forward to my groups. You know, it's so confident. Not say every single client. Some, you know, some actually are kind of tuned out. Some may fall asleep, you know, because of their medication is so heavy, you know, they just can't help it. So sometimes they fall asleep, but they'll check back in and tune back in. But for the most part, the majority of them, and it's a good number of clients that I treat, about a caseload of 30. For the most part, you know, they are like, Danielle, you know, you're going to do group today. And they're just so excited about it. And like after I finish group, my client, he'll be like, you're such a good intern, you know, someone say, nice group, good job. I'm like, what? It comes out of nowhere. You know, I'm like, I call myself giving them positive encouragement and feedback, you know, telling them good job, you know, you're doing great, give them thumbs up or whatever. But they often like tell me, great job, Danielle. Like, so I don't know. It's amazing to me. It's so comforting. Like that to me is my biggest reinforcer and the reason why I do this. Because it ain't about the money. It's not about getting props from, I mean, it's good to hear props from my supervisor. He gives me positive encouragement too, and I love it. I respect it. He's always telling me, you know, I'm doing great. That was a great group, especially the ideas that I come up with for my groups. Like, for example, I'm about to go ahead and end this video, but real quick, like for my last group, I decided to do more of a cultural group to get them more immersed and exposed to different cultures around the world. And I chose to cover 5 different countries and just show them like the language, you know, the way they dress, the food, just the different customs of the culture. And the clients loved it, but my supervisor loved it even more. He was like, that was an awesome group. But with his jokes, he has like a funny side. He was like, oh yeah, I streamed the group live and it got a lot of likes, but Donald Trump saw your group and he was like, that's fake news. Because y'all know Donald Trump, he's not really for multiculturalism or diversity. You know, he's like all about white supremacy, I guess. So he talks about people from different countries and stuff. And the group was focused on basically, it was focused on highlighting people from different countries, you know, like putting on the pedestal saying like, hey, this is what the media says, but this is what actually exists in this country. And there's positive side. It's a positive side to the negative side that you are exposed to, you know, especially with certain Middle Eastern countries. So I just found it to be quite funny because my supervisor, he's a trip. He was like, yeah, Donald Trump saw the live stream of the group that I just did, that I just recorded, our live stream, and it got a lot of likes. That's what he said. It was a joke, you guys. He didn't live stream it, but he just makes jokes like that. I'm just like, whatever. But it's, after just looking at my experiences there, I have a lot of experiences, you know, to share about my time there and my first prac. And I could even write a book on it. I'm not going to do it now, but I'm going to wait, you know, years pass. And it's just amazing, you guys. And I feel like, man, time goes by so fast. I was just telling my colleague this, like, before you know it, we are going to be done. Like, we'll be looking back and be like, wow, we have a degree, now what? Now what we're gonna do? It's like, I definitely already have a plan for myself. I'm hesitant to share everything with you guys. I don't share everything, you know. Some things is okay to share, give you guys a quick snapshot, you know. I'll come in and talk to you guys, but as far as what exactly I'm going to do, no, I can't tell you guys step-by-step plan on what I'm going to do. No one does that, you know. I can't do that. for my own best interest, it's best that I not do that. But I mean, you guys can see what I'm already doing, and I shared with you guys my website, behappy.org. But it's beautiful. It's beautiful to see that, I'm making progress and I'm doing well and passing my classes, knock on wood, I haven't failed not one class, although they are pretty challenging. Like, these classes are not easy. It's not that I haven't been a graduate student before, so I know the level of difficulty of graduate school, but woo, PhD is a whole nother level because they expect more from us. I mean, it's like they're training us to become doctors, so it's like we're put on this high pedestal like we're not even human beings, So it's not just about academia, but it's about professionalism, and we have to see clients, meanwhile take classes. So I think my first year seeing clients while taking classes, kind of getting into the groove of things. It took a while for me to transition, but now I'm just like, hey, I'm ready to go. I'm ready for my next practicum. I'm like, what's next, Which I already have my second placement. Of course, I can't tell you guys where it is. I already have my second placement. I can't tell you guys where my second placement is. I mean exactly like the name of the place, but I can tell you that it is definitely on the opposite side where I currently work. So I currently work in the Valley, and it's with mostly it's a diverse group. It's white, Hispanic. I would say mostly white, Hispanic, right? Not really that many. I mean, maybe we have one black client, but it's not really black clients there. But where I'm going to be working for my second practice, actually mostly African Americans. So I'm like, I'm looking forward to that. And the clinical population is obviously it's going to be different because it's not going to be adults with intellectual disabilities, although it may show up, that I may come across a client with an intellectual disability. But for the most part, these are higher functioning clients I'll be working with, and I'll be doing therapy, a different structure of therapy. So I'm excited about it. I'm just looking forward to it. And then my final year, I'll have another prac, and I'm just looking forward to that. Like, it's just going by so fast, y'all. Before you know it, like, I'm going to be like out of LA and leaving California and moving on to my APA internship. So I just can't wait, you guys. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. And I think that's it. That's pretty much, I just want to give you guys a quick update. Let's see how long I've been, 32 minutes. All right. So, I'm about to go because it's the end of the day for me right now. It's like 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. So I'm about to head home. But thank you guys for supporting me. Thank you guys for the positive words and encouragement. And I want to just say that for those of us who are part of the Pan-African movement, kudos to you guys. I encourage you guys to let's continue to uplift and support the leaders in the Pan-African movement, because it does matter that they have our support. So much work that they're doing. I just saw that Tariq Nasheed is actually working on the 5th part of Hidden Color series, and I think that is amazing. I saw the trailer for it, and I'm just like, I can't wait till that comes out. So he's doing that. Dr. Umar Johnson, I noticed, has a birthday coming up, August 21st, so we should all send our love and gratitude and support to him on his birthday. I mean, we send it to him all the time anyway, but we should continue to send even more love and support on his birthday, August 21st. I think he's going to be 44. So that's beautiful. And I know he has a lot of things that he's working on. The number one thing, obviously, is his school, the FDMG Academy, that he's in the process of developing. It obviously takes time to build an institution. So I'm patient, and I just encourage you guys to be patient and know that what he's doing, he's basically setting things up to affect many generations to come down the line. So it's not just going to impact this generation of children, but many generations to come. So I think that's beautiful, and I can definitely see that there's a space for that in American society. So I know that America You know, although he got some flack and people, you know, have their opinions about his vision for the FDMG Academy, I know ultimately America will embrace it when it comes to fruition, and when you know he opens it and he launches this academy. I know that just it's going to be so beautiful. So I just see that there's a bright future ahead for all of us, everybody, like the black community, you know, America. I know we go through our difficult times with race relations, but ultimately I think it's going to all come together. That's just my faith and that's my belief. So I thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for watching. And for you guys on YouTube, I encourage you guys to come on over to Facebook and catch my videos live. But in the meantime, I'm going to stay busy. Like, I have a lot of things up my sleeve, you guys. And like I said, I can't tell you guys like in advance, but I'll tell you guys like once it's done. I think it's better to keep things that way, you know, because you got the haters and you got trolls, and you know we don't need none of the drama. We don't need none of that. But all right, I'm gonna catch you guys later. Thank you guys, and I love you guys so much. Bye bye.